This is a video I'm doing. I promised a long time ago that I was going to do just a small info video on each of my books as they come out. This is for people who are unsure if they want to purchase it, or if they plan on purchasing it and would just like a small preview of what to expect. So this video is for Jump with Both Feet, the encouraging autism journey of a little boy named M, which is my oldest son. So to first start off, the reason that I wrote the book was because as an autism parent, there are so many books out there, but there was none that I found many of a parent perspective, especially there was no mother, father. There was a handful, but not very many. Most are by professionals, which is a great thing, but I think that there needs to be more resources out there for parents that have a little bit more heart and understanding of living this life 365 days a year. So that was initially my motivation to do that. My second motivation was obviously, and pretty well it kind of ties with the first, was Emmett. I want Emmett to be able to look back and read these books someday and see how far that he has come and see the beginning of his journey straight through. I do intend on keeping writing the Jump with Both Feet series, so this is the very first one in that. The second will be out in the fall 2018. So I keep wanting to say 2017. We are in June, and I am still screwing up on the dates and years, so that's not very good. But anyway, a glimpse inside of Jump with Both Feet. It's really about our hardcore beginning. It takes you up until Emmett's autism diagnosis. It's kind of everything before. When we joined All Kids, when we first noticed things were a little bit different. I kind of talk about marriage a little bit, how having a child with autism changes so many things for you as a family. But at the same time, my biggest hope is that it gives hope, that it portrays something that is encouraging, which obviously encouraging is in the title, and there's a big purpose for that for me, because I find often, as much as there is the hard, and as much as we need to discuss and bring awareness to the hard, we really need to bring awareness to the heart and goodness of it all as well. There needs to be a balance, and as a person who believes in so many different things, I really want to bring a positive light to what we have learned as a family through this experience. So Emmett has had, of course, his challenges, but Emmett has overcome so much. He's overcome so much. He has accomplished so many goals and milestones, and it's just kind of breathtaking and amazing to walk through that with him as his mom. And I want to share that magic of sorts with other people who have been in those feelings and been told that to give up, and have been told that you will not live an ordinary life. My response always is, I don't want to live an ordinary life, and I hope my children don't think that ordinary is the way to go. I hope that they live extraordinary lives and are very open to who they are, and not to follow what anybody else what they think that they are. It's all about yourself. It's about being genuine and being kind to everybody, and that's initially what I hope for my kids. So I'm in my computer chair and I keep swaying and not realizing it. I apologize. I just noticed. So to quickly go through just a little bit, I have a little introduction in the beginning, and then everything is kind of into parts. There are 15 parts to this book. The introduction, then there's He's Only a Baby. The He's Only a Baby section is kind of the fact that he was so little to me. He was so small, and all these big things were happening. There was these therapies and everything else kind of just thrown at us, and we are very grateful for all of them, but it can be very overwhelming. The second part is called A Word is a Word. It discusses a lot to do with speech with Emmett, because that is initially the first sign of things for us that he wasn't talking. So For us, the not communicating and talking and unsure of how he should, he was trying to figure out how to find his voice. So that deals a lot with that. The overwhelming moments, that part kind of explains itself a little bit. Magically, beautifully different, which is the biggest message for me as a mother that I want out in the world for any mother, not just... I want all parents to realize that we don't all need to sail in the same boat. We can all take our own and arrive at a beautiful destination of where we want to be. Birthday parties, because we have had our ups and downs with that, but we've had disappointments, but not on our son's part. It has been people's reactions when it comes to family events and stuff like that. Food for thought. Seriously, one of the hardest things with Emmett is his food, getting him to eat. He likes a very limited amount of stuff and he eats a ton of it, but sometimes he will go on food strikes for weeks. Progress means progress, work means progress. So, I'm tired. Progress means work, work means progress. This is a terrible video, but anyway. And that's exactly what I mean, is that we need to work to get progress. You can't sit back and not use any tools. You need to use all the tools that you discover and that you learn through this process and work very hard. And your child is the hardest worker out of it all, but as long as you go along with them, it will all be okay. Marriage and autism, like I said, a little bit in depth there. The professionals are not always right. I have a little bit of a heavy opinion there, but I stand by it. The diagnosis, which pretty well details our day that day and how I felt about it. I didn't have a reaction that most people I speak to did. When I speak to other parents, it kind of goes to sorrow and sadness, and I wasn't there. I didn't feel that way. It doesn't mean that they were wrong, or I was right, or I was right, and they, nobody's reaction is the wrong way to act, but I still believe that there should be care and nurturing, bottom line, no matter how you feel. The salt of the earth kind of people, which is the people who, in this process of intervention, are my saviors. Grammy, which is my mother, talking about everything that she has done and continues to do for my son. Well, for both my sons, but this just speaks in this kind of particular way. Sleep or lack thereof. Emmett did not sleep through the night until he was 4, unless he was sick. So that's a lot on that. I would never in 1,000 years thought that we would go that many years without sleep. So it was a very interesting part. The importance of self-care. That's kind of obvious by the title, but I kind of give tips that I've asked other parents and tips that I've done, because I really think that we need to look after ourselves as we look after our children, of course. And then from one autism parent to another, it's a word of encouragement. It's a bare truth, and I just want people to not feel alone, because we're in such a pressure world these days of milestones, and they need to be potty trained by 2, and all these things that are so crazy to me. I am telling you to follow your kid and to ignore whatever you're reading online. And a ton of other little things, but the attitude from it is kind of sewn in with that. So, that is a little bit about Jump with Both Feet. It is not a long read. It is only about 55 pages, and the book is bigger, as you can see. If you're wondering why, I've answered this before, but the reason that my books are a little bit bigger like this, the reason that I choose for the format to be that way, is because I'm fortunate enough to have a lot of grandparents still around, and my grandfather has said to me that he finds bigger font and a bigger book is much easier to read. It's an easier read. I've actually was given feedback from an autism interventionist that when they read the book, they liked it so much because they could take notes. They could read parts and actually, the way it looks, they could highlight and make notes on the outside. There was enough room. So after I heard that, it kind of encourages me to stick with this format for the Jump with Both Feet series. So if you have any questions, please write them below. It is available on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle edition. And it is available on Amazon.ca, but only in Kindle edition. So there you go. And that's a little bit on that. If you have any questions, please message me or email alexcormierauthor@gmail.com. Thank you so much.